You look as this sudden look of anxiety strikes across Jack's face, and he looks back at the mast, and like the left hand begins instinctually kind of reaching in that direction before it stops and freezes. And the hand relaxes to the side and goes, "Well, I can pick it up in the morning. For now, let's see where the night takes us."
Garthy smiles, goes arm in arm with you, and you walk up to a night of tender and truly loving companionship of the heart, and of listening, and of providing space, and of gentle sleep for the first time in a long time. Night of good food, wonderful conversation, warm firelight, and some of the most proficient platonic spooning you have ever been part of.
Never quite imagined myself a deft little spoon, but here we are.
You see, Garthy wakes up and goes, "That's right, you got to turn expectation on his head, love. Just because you're a large fella and you're built, let me just say it again, built incredibly well. Those shoulders.
Oh.
Yes. But why can't you be the little spoon? Everyone deserves a turn to be the little spoon. Why not?
Maybe next time I'll return the favor.
I look forward to it, lovey. You see, Garthy's quarters, by the way, are like black and gold. It's like black columns with gold tops and bottoms. Their bed is set into the floor, so the top of the bed is like level with this marble floor. Their quarters are like simultaneously like a temple and a cult sanctum. There are like altars everywhere filled. There's hundreds of candles that are all enormous and partially melted everywhere. Celestial glyphs and runes. It's very like religion meets like religious structure meets like chill rock star den. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I guess it would be, that vibe of like, oh, okay, if like a very old rock star was also the leader of like a very mystical religious movement, this would be the vibe.
Right, hints of a Meatloaf music video.
Garthy smiles, gets up, says, "All right, well, another day in paradise. Listen, Davy, you got here your mast," and they lead you down a hallway and gesture to another part of this structure but are not their personal quarters, and open a room that has a sort of permanent, very powerful marble floor, actual like gilded gold work jointed into the floor as a permanent magic circle against evil. And you see, they open it to you and say, "I know that Myrtle had some designs on doing some sort of spell casting this morning. Yeah, so feel free to use this room at your pleasure, and I'll be working if you need anything, lovely." Garthy puts one of their hands up on the side of your cheek, gives you a little peck on the other cheek, and says, "Take care of yourself, lovely. That's an order."
Righto. And as Garthy's leaving us, before you go, thank you.
Darling, it has been a pleasure. And they walk off. Right, Garthy, bad news, my friend. You see, we were off in there looking. There's smoke rising from the nails from small. There's been some sort of attack at the front of the Leviathan. Near Jamina's shop. You hear. Garthy looks up and says, "Does this mean Jamina might be destroyed?" Garthy O'Brien, sitting at the head of the bar near the door, waves to all of you and says, "All right, lovies, off to save the world. Well done." Looks and says, "My God, Alistair, are you alive, darling?" Alistair says, and you see an incredibly rare appearance of Garthy outside of the Gold Gardens, walking up with the tieflings, being escorted by some of Garthy's like bouncers and security from the taverns of the Gold Gardens. Lovies, happy to hear that everything went smashing. Yeah, looks like the job got done.
Turns back over his shoulder.
His eyes find Garthy somewhere in the crew group back there and goes, I think there's still a bit left in this old story to write.
Garthy smiles, winks at you, beckons you over. Garthy's talking with Cheese and Tulwar. You see, Garthy sort of smiles, says, oh, darling, Jackie, can you come over here? Sweetheart. You see, Garthy says, I was just talking with the good Admiral, Tulwar, as well as young Master Cheese here about the fact that young Cheese has come into possession of a boat. But Cheese, I believe you were mentioning that you're not actually a sailor by trade. You grew up here on Leviathan, that's right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I've never sailed anything.
You see, Garthy smiles and they kind of flip a little like a coin amongst their fingers for a second. Well, you know, as the owner of a ship, and I'm a business owner myself, so I sort of put some thought into these sort of things. You're going to need to think about hiring a crew, quartermaster, bosun. Probably the most important decision you're going to make is about who you're going to hire as captain, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. It's like the most important person. It's just like...
If I might weigh in here, there are certain traits that one should look for in a captain, yeah? Experience, a level head, yeah? The ability to make decisions quickly under fire, strong principles, strong morals, a strong back, broad shoulders, sort of handsome face, that kind of grey fox, like older guy, like, you know, it's sort of like, oh, like, I bet he knows what he's doing. He's not going to waste my time in the sack, you know?
Cheese keeps looking back. Cheese keeps looking back and forth. Like, he's not even looking at Cheese. He's looking directly at Jack the entire time. And, like, Cheese is just, like, looking at them, make eye contact, and he's just like, this doesn't awaken anything in me.
So, like, you know, consider, yeah, that's all I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah. Consider. Jack's the top of my list. Are you kidding?
Oh, my goodness. Jack. Wow. What a connection. Yeah, that honestly, oh, my God. You're 100% right. That's like, yeah. Wow. Jack checks almost all those boxes off that list. Wow, that's incredible. Well, you know, I think you should consider him. Definitely put him at the top of your list. You know, doing interviews or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, no interviews. Like, Jack, do you want to do you want a boat? I can get you a boat. Do you want one?
That once seen soft grin curls a second time across Jack's face. If I could have a promise of that. Maybe I'd be liable to enjoy some time at sea. And goes ahead and gives a look back at them. At Garthy.
Garthy smiles and says, I'm not in the habit of making those kind of promises, but I would say the odds are extremely in your favor.
Strangely, for the first time, I'm seeing myself as a gambling man.
See, Tulwar looks down at you and says, I don't see very well, but it feels like the sexual energy is incredibly powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I hope this isn't awakening something in me.
Yeah, it's very strong. I've been avoiding using the word semen the entire time. I just...
Garthy waves over at you too, Bob, and says, Bobby, take care of that voice, love, and take care of that body, and take care of your heart as well. I know you're looking for adventure, love, and I know you're going to find it. You're going to do great, darling. Believe me.
You're the most encouraging person I ever met in my entire life.
Hey, encouragement's a form of pleasure, yeah? It's all about feeling good. Garthy waves up also to you, Jack, and says, you look rather dashing on the prow of a ship, love, I have to say.
As he's like finishing the last bit of rope that's taking the mast piece and is affixing it as the bowsprit, the pole at the very front of the ship. Stands up, kind of arching with renewed posture, and looks back over towards Garthy and says, well, thank you very much. Tell you what, when I come back, and I claim absolutely no
exclusivity to such a wondrous beast as yourself. I'd say it's your turn to play Little Spoon, eh?
I'll play whatever you like, lovey. Just come back. Garthy, there's a little case left from Garthy after they have already turned to leave. You open it up because you're affixing your mast to the prow of the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
You open it. A gleaming, golden-hilted, double-handed falchion waits for you in this gleaming case.
They really are something special, aren't they?
As I
You're in the presence of your ship. You hear a flapping of wings behind you. And you see light. A young woman stands on like the sort of the side mast of this ship where the sails are sort of wrapped up. She is a young, beautiful, tall, she's about 6.5 feet tall, strong, beautiful young black woman with wings made of pure fire and glowing orange tattoos along her arms. A gout of flame, sort of in a mohawk, is the only sort of fire on top of her head. And she has, from the knees down, sort of bird's talons, digitigrade ankles. She looks at you, holding Marcide's other letter, and regards you. She goes, "You are Cheese of Cannon Court, correct?"
Yeah, you're, whoa, wow. Yeah, I'm Cheese.
She folds the letter, places it. "My apologies for my lateness. In addition to being the mistress of the Compass Points Library, I also am in a committed relationship with a rock star who lives in Solace. So I have to split time between those two locations."
Yeah, oh, yeah, I know. I keep up with all the papers and all those. That's amazing, yeah.
"I am Ida Eggfort, mistress of the Compass Points. It has been brought to my attention that you are a young wizard. Is this correct?"
Yes.
"May I observe your trapper keeper?"
Yeah. He pulls out a trapper keeper and hands it to her. Starts kind of making excuses for it. A lot of these, a lot of the pages are torn. A lot of the stuff that I'm scribbling in the notes. I had to I don't know the real languages or exactly how this stuff works exactly. A lot of that I put together. It's not.
Your voice keeps stuttering over and over again. Are you nervous right now?
I'm always nervous. Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm going to be frank with you. I command the wind and stars. I am a powerful wizard. Last year, I stormed the 9 hells to save my paramour. You see, she says, and I also get nervous a lot. It's okay to be nervous, but I hope you are not nervous around me. I heard of your story and that you are off on an adventure to save your brother. This is a noble calling. I hope you do well. Am I conveying to you affection correctly? You're getting that I'm being affectionate, yes?
I don't have a lot of experience, but I guess so, yes. I mean, on paper, it sounds 100%.
You don't have a lot of experience with affection. I understand that. Leviathan can be an unkind place to grow up. Do you have any family left here in the city?
And Cheese is no, not in the city.
She narrows her eyes and looks at you and says, "Very well." She casts a spell, some act of divination, and she says, "I have asked the winds and the mists of all the 17 seas to come together and agree with you that you have no family here in the city. Any who live in this city that operate under the mistaken assumption that they are your family will find locating you, troubling you, harassing you, or ever being unkind to you again to be an impossibility for you and your brother.
Thank you.
Here is a very large book of spells. It's a present. I hope you enjoy it. Don't tell me if you don't. It will hurt my feelings.
Oh, thank you. This is... Oh, it even has that new spell smell. Oh, yes. Thank you so much.
She smiles. Your adventure awaits. The Crow's Keep will be open to you whenever you are ready. I'm out of things to say. Do you have any things to say, or are we done talking?
We're done talking, yes.
Okay. I consider you a friend. I hope you do the same to me. You can think about it. You don't have to answer now. Goodbye, Cheese. Flies off into the sky.